some of the history that you do know about cuddle therapy and try to share some light on that?
Absolutely. So it, like I said, it is a new up and coming industry. And I do know that it started out on the East Coast in New York. It started with Cuddle Party. It was actually just some friends who got together and um, decided to, I don't know how it came up, but they were just like, hey, let's cuddle. And then it started becoming like a bi-weekly thing that they did. And then it just started to expand and they started inviting more friends. And then one of them had the idea to turn it into a business. And so they started Cuddle Party out east. And it kind of started growing from there. It was just something that people didn't realize they needed until they stumbled upon it.
Wow, that's a very nice story. And I guess then it started in the era of the internet, so wherever it started it just spread out from there to everywhere.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely the best time for it to be being spread, like you said, with the internet. Absolutely. And then now that we have so much recognition, we're actually getting clients from psychologists and psychiatrists, and they're like, hey, there's this thing, you should try this, I think it might work for your particular case, those kinds of things. And that is just mind-blowing. I'm like, yes.
Awesome. So if I wanted to start being a cuddle therapist, what would I do? Does the process start online, or do I have to, get the mail-in forms? How do I start being a cuddle therapist?
Well, that journey is different for everyone. Like I said, I took a little more of a legal route, but there are people who start on websites like, oh, I forget the name of it, Cuddle Comfort.
Hmm.
And they just open themselves up to cuddling strangers. And like I said, I feel more comfortable when I have a level of training. I wanted to make sure that I could be the best for my clients. I wanted to make sure that I could have as much knowledge as I possibly could about what was needed from me, so that I could maintain that safe space for them. So that's why I did seek out an online certification program. There are a few of them out there, and there are some that just focus on different positions, ways to run your business, how to speak with clients to let them know what's expected, those kinds of things. With Cuddlist, there are a lot of exercises that we can use during our sessions to help the client really hone in on what they need in that moment. So there's one that is my favorite. I like to ask a client some silly random questions, like, and I tell them, okay, you have to say no to everything I'm about to ask you. You say, okay. And or I'll do it the other way. It depends. And so it's like, okay, can I shave your head? And they'll say no. And then I'll say, okay, will you give me your car? No. Will you give me a hug? No. Okay. And then I go back over those questions again. You have to say yes to all of these questions. So you have that silly little feeling. It's like, can I shave your head? And they say, yes. Or will you give me your car? Yes. And there's usually the voice that goes up, or like the little purse of the lip,
Yeah, and then you're there to
will you
comfort
give me
them.
a hug? And it's a concrete yes. And that's when I just point out, okay, you feel the difference between when you said no to those questions, and then when you said yes. There were ones that you really didn't want to do, and then there was ones that you were okay with. And that's usually the feeling that I want them to really hone in on and to focus on. Okay, so if I ask you if you would like to try a certain cuddle position, or are you done, or is it okay if I rub your arm, or those kinds of things. I want you to really focus in on that feeling of the yes, I am all in, I am a yes, or that I'm a maybe. And I advise people, if you're a maybe, be a no. Let's just err on the side of caution, unless you want to try something new and have the freedom to say, I changed my mind. Let's do something else. And that's encouraged as well. Laughter is encouraged, tears are encouraged. It's complete safe space, and everything is confidential. And so yeah, that's kind of the process that I learned through my certification, was really getting into that consent work and helping people to be in the moment and figure out what it is that they need from me in that moment.